Up until now, many job seekers with criminal records have found it difficult to find jobs and successfully find their way back to society. The dreaded question on the application, "Have you been convicted of a crime in the past 10 years?" has been a huge obstacle. The path to employment has been tough, but hopefully things are getting easier. Several years ago, a number of large, influential employers met with President Barack Obama to sign the Fair Chance Business Pledge. This pledge included offering employment and advancement opportunities to qualified individuals with criminal records. This has created second chances and hope for many wishing to reintegrate. Shortly afterwards, the federal ban-the-box law, that began as the FCA or the Fair Chance to Compete for Jobs Act of 2019, was enacted to prohibit federal employers, including private companies with federal contracts, from inquiring about arrests and criminal convictions in the initial application process. Employers can still inquire about criminal history, including a background check, when the applicant is being considered for employment. More and more employers across the country, as well as state and local governments, have adopted similar ban-the-box laws, according to the National Employment Law Project. Here are some tips that can help you get hired. Be realistic. If you have a felony, you need to be realistic about the types of jobs you can get. You will likely not be able to get a job in specific industries, such as healthcare or education. But there are still many other kinds of jobs that are available to you, such as customer service, retail, or food service. Don't waste your time applying for jobs that you know you won't get. It's better to focus your efforts on jobs for which you are more qualified. Always be honest. I encourage ex-offenders and felons to always be honest when searching for jobs, especially on applications and interviews. There is often a temptation to lie about criminal pasts. I have known many people who have not been honest on applications and gotten jobs, only to get fired later when background checks are done. It is always better to be honest. In this high-tech computer age, it is relatively easy to do a background check on virtually anyone, so don't count on your record not being found. If you are asked about criminal records on interviews, you should briefly speak about it, but focus on what you have learned and why having a job and working hard is important. Find companies that hire felons. More and more employers are hiring felons. There are many companies that can say that they offer employment opportunities to people with criminal records. Finding companies that hire felons is half of the battle. There is a link in the description to our huge list of companies that offer equal employment opportunities to people with criminal records. Ask for help. One of the most important things you can do is ask for help. You might be surprised by how many people are willing to help you out if they know that you are looking for a job. Most people get jobs through people they know. Who you know is often just as important as what. Finding job leads from people you know is called networking, and it is without question the single most powerful way to get a job. Many jobs are never advertised because they are often filled by personal referrals. In fact, employers would rather hire somebody referred to them instead of looking through piles of resumes and applications. Contact as many people as you can think of and ask if they know of anyone who is hiring. Ask for the person who is in charge of hiring and try to get an application or try to arrange for an interview. The more applications you can get to people in charge, the greater your chances to get a job. Get a resume. If you are looking for a job without a well-written resume, you are at a disadvantage. A resume is a short, concise document that states relevant information regarding your education, skills, experiences, accomplishments, and job-related background. A well-written resume will help you present your best qualities to an employer. If you have a resume, have a professional person look at it to judge its quality. If you do not have a well-written resume, I suggest you get some help putting one together. Get some really good references. Increasingly, employers are paying attention to references when considering new employees. Job seekers with criminal records should be able to provide strong references that will help them make a good impression on employers. There are employers that will hire a felon, and a strong set of references from the right people can help you get hired. References are upstanding members of the community who would say something positive about you. Good references could help an employer look past your record. References from religious leaders, teachers, former employers, and local political leaders would look great to an employer. Most employment applications ask for 3 references. You should always have at least 4. Be prepared to list a name, title, and contact information for each one. Make certain contact information is current and keep it updated. Over time, phone numbers, titles, and addresses change. Get permission from anybody you want to use as a reference. Let them know that you are looking for a job, and a reference from them would really help. Never offer anyone as a reference without their consent. Once you have your references all together, keep them in your job search folder for easy access when it is time to fill out an application. Only offer references when they are requested. Never put references on a resume. Include a line on the resume that may say references will be furnished upon request. Taking the time to get good references will have a powerful impact on your job search. Like this video so far? Show me some love by hitting that thumbs up button. Dress to get hired. There is no substitute for a powerful first impression. If people with criminal records want to be treated like professionals, they ought to look professional. A fact of life is that most of us will be judged at least partially by the way we look. Meeting someone for the first time, you should look as professional as possible. A nice suit, a light-colored shirt, a tie, and nicely shined pair of shoes would do the trick. At the very least, you should have a light-colored shirt, dark slacks, a tie, and once again, shined shoes. You may not own clothes like these, but you should do your best to get them. You should look like someone who is serious about getting hired. You will never get a second chance to make a first impression. Preparing for job interviews. It is very difficult for people with criminal records to get considered for jobs, so to get a chance to interview is a great opportunity. A lot of hard work went into getting an interview, so make it count. Okay, you have an interview. This is the day when all of the hard work pays off. The interview is a time to show just how professional you are and that you are the right person for the job, so we're going to take some steps to make sure we make the most of this opportunity. Preparation for the interview will begin the day before. The first and most important preparation you can make is having proper interview clothes. I tell my students that interviews are business meetings. Do your clothes make you look like a businessperson ready to make a deal? They should. Be sure that your clothes are neat, clean, and in good condition. Plan all of the steps leading up to the time the interview begins. You must know the company name, where it is located, and the interview time. Plan to arrive at least 15 minutes early. This will allow you to relax and make any last-minute adjustments. If possible, make a trip to the interview location the day before to see exactly how long it takes to get there. There is no excuse for being late to an interview. Know the name of the person interviewing you so that you can ask for him or her by name when you arrive. Call the company and get the correct spelling and pronunciation. Know and understand the position you are applying for. Get as much information as you can. Call or visit the company. Get a written description of the job if possible. Have all of your documentation ready. Have your social security card, birth certificate, driver's license, and any diplomas, certifications, awards, or letters of recommendation. Have a typed list of your references in case the interviewer asks for them. Good references help ex-offenders and felons get jobs. Get a professional-looking portfolio with a notepad to carry your documents and resume copies and to keep them neat. Always carry 2 pens just in case one fails to work. Have at least 5 copies of your resume. You may be interviewed by more than one person. Have a copy of your personal data sheet. That is a sheet that has all of the information you will need to complete an application. Don't try to do it from memory. Gather all the information and have it on a sheet of paper. You can be bonded free of charge. The federal government offers people with criminal records free bonding. When you get an interview, you can tell the employer that you can get bonded at no charge to you or the employer. If the employer has concerns about you being an honest employee, you can say, "I can be bonded." A bond insures the employer from loss of money, merchandise, or services due to employee dishonesty. This may be the difference between getting hired or not getting hired. You should speak to your state's Department of Labor representative at your local one-stop career center. There is a link in the description where you can find more information about the federal bonding program. Have a list of relevant questions to ask the interviewer. Type them up so they are easy to read. You can ask questions like, "What do I have to do to be successful here? Is there anything else I can provide you with that would be helpful? Can I answer any final questions for you?" At the end of the interview, ask for the interviewer's card so that you can follow up with a thank you email or even send a thank you card. Look out for scams. There are a lot of job scams out there that target people with criminal records. Be very careful when looking for a job, and make sure you research any company or individual you're thinking of working with. There are a few things to look out for. Promises of easy money. Be wary of anyone who promises you a high-paying job with little or no experience. Upfront fees. Be careful of anyone who asks you to pay a fee up front, especially if they guarantee you a job. Out-of-state offers. Be cautious of anyone who gives you a job that requires you to move out of state. Unrealistic claims. Be wary of anyone who promises you a job without interviews or applications. If you're careful and do your research, you can avoid many scams that target people with criminal records. Being convicted of a felony does not mean that you will never find a job again. With the right approach, you can get hired and start climbing your way back up the career ladder. To improve your chances of getting a job with a felony, focus on securing references, building relationships with potential employers, and working hard on your job search. With patience and persistence, you can get hired and rebuild your life after getting out of prison. Best of luck.